This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is Wednesday of the 14th week of the year. Our Gospel reading is Matthew chapter 10, verses 1 to 7. Jesus summoned his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits to drive them out and to cure every disease and every illness. The names of the 12 apostles are these. First, Simon, called Peter, his brother Andrew, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the tax collector, James, the son of Alphaeus, and Thaddeus, Simon the Cananean, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus. Jesus sent out these 12 after instructing them thus: "Do not go into pagan territory or enter a Samaritan town. Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. As you go, make this proclamation: the kingdom of heaven is at hand." Some beautiful things happening in this passage. First, Jesus, who has been doing ministry, he's been showing his disciples through curing the sick, driving out demons, preaching good news, teaching the people. The crowds are gathering, people are watching, and now Jesus says to his 12, it's your turn. They're summoned, they're empowered, they're given authority. And remember, authority is the right to do something. Power is the ability to do it. They have authority. In his name, they can do great deeds. Jesus is giving them the right to do what he himself has been doing. They've seen it. Now it's their turn to put it into practice. And they're called by name. Friends, can you imagine if Jesus looked us right in the eye and called us by our name and said, "I've got work for you. I'm empowering you. I'm giving you my authority to go out into the world and serve, help, heal, build up." There's plenty to do. There's lots of work. I need you to continue my mission. We've got their names, but I think about what that would be like to be asked by Jesus, commanded, summoned, taught, directed, but truly and completely knowing that Jesus is asking of us by name. There's a personal connection here. There's a relationship. And leaning into that relationship, Jesus says, "I know you. I love you. I will die for you. Now, in my name, go and do the work I have set before you." So Jesus has been doing the work. Now he gives them authority to carry it out. There's a personal relationship. They're called by name. And they're called to proclaim that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Friends, we have good news. We have good news that our beautiful world created by God, that has fallen into sin, has been redeemed by the precious blood of Jesus. We have good news that when we are broken and wounded and struggling, we turn to the Lord with our good news. And when we've sinned and made mistakes and messed up, we don't run away from God, we run to God with a contrite heart, with a humbled spirit, to ask for the help, the mercy, the grace, the forgiveness that we need. The question I would ask for us today is, how is Jesus calling each one of us right now by name? When I said earlier to imagine it, it ain't an imagination. As his disciples, we are still called by God to do the work that we need to do, right here, right now, in the modern era. Right here, right now, in our little corner of the world, in our neighborhoods, where we work, where we live, where we act and interact with others. We have an opportunity, friends, to bring God's light. And God still keeps calling The Lord keeps inviting others. There's plenty of work. There's lots to do. And so I would hope that really with two dimensions to this. One, our receptivity. Are we open to seeing and hearing how God is inviting us to roll up our sleeves and dive in? Are we receptive to the message of Jesus? Are we vigilant and aware of how Jesus is calling? That happens, friends, when we take time to pray every day, when we're receiving our sacraments, when we're in good Christian fellowship. When we dispose ourselves to God, God will tap on the door of our hearts. But second, when we know what we're called to do, may we dive in. When we really do see the path before us, may we walk it confident that God walks with us. The first part is being receptive to how God will call us. The second is energetic in carrying out the mission. And in great and small ways, we all have work to do. Folks, never underestimate that, I can only do this little bit. When we take our little bit and put it in God's hands, God will bless it, amplify it, and send it out in ways that we could never imagine. That is how God will take our offering and close the deal. So today, are we receptive? And are we eager? Eager to respond to the Lord's call, to go out to those who are lost and wounded and struggling, and proclaim by the very example and witness of our lives, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Inspiration. These homilies, podcasts, presentations, and retreats are part of my ministry. And folks, if you found it helpful, please feel free to share my podcast with someone you know and love in the hopes that it will help them in their journey of faith. And you can help me if you just go back to your podcast engine and write me a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask that you remember me and yours as well. God bless you, my friends.